Another grey, wet day in London. International students definitely don't come here for the weather. They put up with the rain and grey skies because elite British universities are respected around the world. The University College London attracts more EU students than any other British university. But up and down this country, there are around about 127,000 students from the EU studying here. Now, they generate around $5 billion every year for this economy, but that is now at risk. The UK has already seen a 7.4% drop in applications from the EU. But some are predicting in the coming years those figures could be much, much worse. Students from the EU currently pay the same tuition as British students. But Brexit could mean they have to pay the same as students from, say, America or China. And that would be unaffordable for many.
Hello. Hello, welcome to UCL.
Thank you very much. UCL's Ludwig Heimann has been looking at the impact of Brexit on UK universities' funding.
Well, Brexit is a concern to British higher education because it's going to affect not only students, but staff, researchers, lecturers, and it's going to affect funding, research funding especially.
At a graduation ceremony nearby, we find proud parents and graduates from all over Europe celebrating their success. They've just escaped the impact of Brexit, but do feel a little sorry for the next batch of students.
Brexit is definitely bothering them. It has such a big impact on the movement of young people, where they can study, and it will have impacts on the jobs they might get after graduating.
I think Brexit will put people off to come to England because so it will be more difficult to get jobs after university, so more people will want to go to other universities in other countries where it's actually free.
There will be the added problem of not only will they have to still pay the extortionate amounts that you have to in Britain anyway, but the potential cut-off of the freedom of movement means that they then might have to pay what overseas students have to pay as well.
But Brexit doesn't necessarily mean disaster for UK universities. Diana Beach from the Higher Education Policy Institute says universities could actually make more money depending on the type of Brexit negotiated.
We're hoping for a soft Brexit. Our research has shown that if student fees go up, we could have a depreciation of students of 57%, so that's a drop in students of 57%. But we could actually gain from more international students benefiting from the devaluation of the pound, so seeing 20,000 more students coming here. But to get that, we actually need the UK to be accessible.
Brexit negotiations are a bit like the British weather, unpleasant, unpredictable. And universities and students are hoping the Brexit cloud will lift soon. But certainty will only come once negotiations are completed sometime in the next 2 years. Matthew Moore, TRT World, London.
And let's go to Paris now, where we're joined by Craig Copetas, our editor-at-large. Craig, great to have you with us. The UK, recent report showing that it is the most expensive place in the world for a university education. US college fees have gone up by nearly 400% over the last 30 years. Why are university costs going up so much?
Well, in the US, most universities are research-focused, and research is very, very expensive. Textbooks, believe it or not, even if they're used, you're looking at $150, in some cases $300 a textbook. The professors are exceptionally well paid. You also have very high overheads at U.S. schools, expensive resources, football stadiums, other athletic facilities, and then many times research has shown these facilities are overbuilt. Now, the government support of tuition in the United States is very, very low. Here in France, for instance, it might cost in the neighborhood of $450 a year out of your pocket to go to school. In the U.S., they're now looking at a $1.3 trillion student debt bubble. Now, on top of all of this, the big kahuna in this mix is that research shows that most universities in the United States are not professionally managed. Many of these departments are expensive to run, and the professors who run them and manage the universities don't want to shut them down.
Right, but isn't it in the government's interest to actually spend more on education, especially when we're seeing so many people being laid off by technological advances, jobs being lost overseas, and people need to be retrained?
You raise a very sharp but double-edged question there, Azar. The problem with the American universities right now is that the money is going into these for-profit universities, such as the University of Phoenix, which exists online. And these schools get a lot of the government grant money, or that's given to the students, and they're not really training people. These so-called for-profit colleges, and I'm going right to a study here, have shown that there's no average benefit in the labor market once they graduate from this for-profit university. So what you have in the States is you have two types of university systems, these for-profit and the classic universities, and that's where the clash is. Loan delinquency, 12%.
Interesting.
Of all the students, 12%.
Very interesting.
Very high, growing.
Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you so much.